Good morning and welcome to another snowy day at Ewetopia Farms. Let's go inside and see what happened in there today. Looks like we just had 2 more lambs as I walk in the door here. The bottle babies have seen me, so they're trying their best to get over here. Don't jump over there, little guy. I'm gonna walk away so he doesn't jump over. But we got 2 lambs we're gonna have to get into jugs right now. Looks like they're doing really good. And this ewe actually has a story. If you look at her eating there, she's got a crooked mouth. When we kept her, it mustn't have been so pronounced, or she has injured it somewhere in her life here. She's one of our older ewes, and you'd think that she'd be unable to eat. I think it's called a rye-face when it's crooked like that. Anyway, you would think that she couldn't eat and it would pass on to her lambs. And we've kept her because she can eat. Doesn't seem to be affecting her, and she's still a productive ewe. And we've watched her lambs and haven't seen it yet once in any of her lambs. So I don't really know if she had an injury, because I don't think on purpose we wouldn't have picked that. But she is a funny girl. Anyway, she's got 2 nice lambs there. Right now I gotta collect all these bottles and get everybody fed. We had another ewe lamb last night. I think she's the oldest girl in the barn, and so she's looking kind of rough today. But she's got a nice little ram lamb there, and we just gotta get her back into condition. You always have a hard time calling the old girls because they've done so much for you, but when you look at, you always say, oh, she can do it again, one more year. And it's not out of greed. It's out of liking the sheep and wanting her to stay around. She's been a good ewe. But, yeah, I can see this lambing has been really tough on her. Hi, sweetheart.
The only thing I would do is I would deworm her right away.
Yeah, we'll deworm her.
In case that's a problem.
Yeah, poor old girl. I'll scan her, but I think she might be 11. Okay, we're in the pen of doom right now, where everything fell apart for the last few days. But I'm looking at anyone that's lying down, and all the ones I see lying down are chewing their cuds. 6 sheep don't chew their cuds. This is the one we marked that was staggering around, but seems to be better now. She's up at the feed trough and eating and walking around still. So I'm guessing that she is on the road to recovery. And I'm not seeing anyone with new symptoms, like it's starting up with anybody. Hi, you feeling okay? You look okay. Lots of heavy sheep and lamb here. Who I'm targeting is sheep that aren't eating. I don't need to look at the ones that are in the feeder because I know that they're fine. So when they're laying down, I'm gonna look for chewing their cud, because usually when sheep lay down, they either sleep or they chew their cud. And this big girl's not chewing her cud. I'll go look at her closely when I go by, but she looks bright. Close to her, she got up right away, so she's fine too. No, everyone is looking good. And oh, we got somebody in the little corral chute here. Sometimes they like to have a lamb in here in privacy. We got one blocking the door. Hi, you guys. You're looking really nice. It's good to see that. You're so pretty, all you guys. Okay, now, again, they're pregnant. And I got a little bottleneck here I gotta walk through. So again, when you're with sheep, you always want to avoid stampedes or going in with sheep and causing them to run. So when you have lambs in the pen, you don't want the ewes running over the lambs. But likewise, when sheep, there's a few laying down here, they're heavy in lamb. And when if you've had babies and you're pregnant, you know that if you're laying down, it's a lot harder to get up when you're pregnant. So if I caused a stampede right now, even inadvertently by just moving quickly by mistake, these sheep will literally run right over the pregnant ones, knock them over, step on them, can injure them. So it's all about walking around them. Come on through, Cammie. Come on. You look like you're heading through. Now you blocked it again. Come on. Okay, we're gonna walk by. Come on. There we go. Don't push. Don't push, you guys. Why are they pushing, Heather? Why? I don't know why they do that. It's silliness, isn't it? Really silliness. Cammie, you're really blocking the road. See, look at the wide load on this girl. And see how they just push? There you go, you guys. No excitement here. There. Now I'm letting my triplets out. They're just going to go into a temporary group pen for now. I don't want them in with the bigger guys yet. So I'm going to stick them in with the Dorsets, who are a little more laid back. Follow your mom, baby. You gotta pay attention. There. These guys are a little rowdy crew, so I think they'll like to be out here. And they run up to me for a bottle, so it's not like I have to chase them around the pen trying to feed them. They should be quite pleased by this. As I head out to bring the bottles to the coverall, I thought I'd let you have a look at the snow right now. This is like Christmas snow today. The big, thick snowflakes. It's actually very pretty. Okay, off to the coveralls. Actually, as Katie's licking the bottles here, you can see how quickly the snow is coating her fur. We just put out some more straw again in the lamb barns. And right here we got Angel and her lamb again. They're rooting through the hay. Because right now we're rolling the hay out because we don't want to drive in the pen with the skid steer when the lambs are this little. So with the straw bales we have to do that because they break to pieces. But if we drop an old hay bale in here, then we can just roll it out. And that way there's no risk of squishing a lamb. Pretty soon we'll be taking the wall down. These, as soon as the front two pens on either side are full up, we leave the sheep in for about a week and then we'll pull the wall down. And that's when the real lamb races begin. And with all this snow coming down, you can see it's starting to accumulate on the roofs of the coveralls too. So it's going to make them seem a lot darker today. Out for afternoon chores in the barn, feeding some of the triplets, and I'm going to answer a whole bunch of random questions and points people have been asking me about, because I thought it was much quicker to just do it by video. And I also thought some of the points were quite interesting. So let's go inside and see what everybody's up to this afternoon. I'm heading into the pen where the triplets are. I almost hate to go in here because, like, look at these two. They're laid flat out there. You'd think they were dead, but they're with their mom, fast asleep. Because it's 3 o'clock, so this is when I feed the triplets their bottle. But this is also basically nap time on the farm. So I guess while I'm standing here, I can talk about one of the first questions we had, and that was, how come everybody pronounces the female sheep differently? And a female sheep is a ewe, E-W-E. And I pronounce it ewe, and other people pronounce it yo. So the question was, which is correct? And the answer is, the correct way to say it is ewe. E-W-E is pronounced ewe. I went and looked up yo to see where that came from, because lots of people use yo, and I thought it was kind of like a slang. I heard a lot of people in the Ottawa Valley, which is near where I live, they seem to all call female sheep yos. And I know some people in Scotland call them yos too. But I did look it all up, and ewe is the correct term, the correct way to pronounce it. However, in the northwestern Highlands of the UK, yo somehow came into play, and I do assume it was some kind of slang for them as well, and it kind of stuck, and other people heard it and copied it and whatever. But anyway, ewe is the correct way to pronounce E-W-E, which is a female sheep. Little lammies, are you hungry? Are you guys hungry? Hi, I'm over here now. It's a different way to get fed. Hi. Hi. Lammies. Lammies. Hi, lammies. They don't know where I am, you see. Lammies, hi. Hi. How you doing? Yeah, hi. Another thing people were asking me about was the color of these Suffolk lambs, because Suffolk lambs can be born kind of a wide variety of colors. They can be more gray like her, where the body's more gray, and they can be speckled like him, or they can be more black like the one over there. In general, most Suffolks are going to look like that one when they're born. This is the most common color of Suffolks. When you get splotches like that, it can happen too. The white's just showing up a little sooner. However, in general, usually the splotchy ones have a cross in them. On our farm, like this mom here with the triplets, she is a cross. And so she's got the spotty lambs. Those spots will disappear and they'll look like her when they grow up, and she looks like a Suffolk. But when I check my record, she's not. Way back, probably quite a ways back, she had a little bit of Texel in her. and so that shows up. But the body colors can be splotchy even on a purebred. Where you are quite certain that it's a cross is when the spots move from the body onto the ears or the legs. I'll get this one and show you. Hi, buddy. Come here. Let's see your ears. Let's see your ears a little bit. Come here. Do you have it? Yeah, you have it a little bit. Come here. See this one? See how she's got a little bit of white splotchy on her ears as well? Suffolks won't have white on their ears. So that's usually a way to tell. I mean, don't say never, because the sheep could have a fault and have a splotch on its ear. But in general, Suffolks will never have light coloring on where they have hair, so their legs and their face. Like this ewe here, she's a cross. So she's got the white on her face and stuff. Whereas Suffolks, except for when they're getting old and going gray, they don't have spotting on their hair areas. And they shouldn't, even on their body. On their body, they can have splotches as lambs. But when they become adults, their face should be like hers, and it should have no coloration in it whatsoever. That's a fault. And as for the lamb that drinks from behind, no, this is the one here. And he is sucking properly now, because this is the one with the dirty head. See the dirty head? But he was sucking off the right place. He's figured it out. Oh, but you see, there he goes. Buddy, it's a mental disorder. I don't know why. But at least he was on the, you saw that, he was on the nipple, so, I mean, stop it, buddy. It's a sickness. There's no way to stop him from doing that. You realize I can't sit here and stop him every time. But you'd think the mom would push him off, but she doesn't. But he's in good shape, so he's obviously nursing properly. He's just a little strange. And the other question that was put to me was about how we always talk about consistency, and yet we also at the same time say we hold back rams of various sizes so we can meet the needs of various breeders who come in to buy sheep. And if all our sheep are the same size, how can we be selling sheep of different sizes? Or when I say we're going to use a smaller ram on our taller ewes, how can that happen that we have smaller rams and taller ewes if they're all consistent? So to address that, if we look in the lamb pen here, most of the lambs will all be different sizes because some are triplets, some are twins, some are singles. There's different breeds here. There's males and females. Some had a bad birth. Some mums don't have enough milk. There are always things that consistently make lambs inconsistent. But when I talk about your flock being consistent, I'm talking about your ewe flock. And your ewe flock is not a random assortment of sheep. Your ewe flock should be the sheep that you have selectively chosen for all the traits and qualities you want your ewe flock to have. So in our case, we're looking for a certain length, width, height, breed characteristics. There are a lot of things that go into picking the sheep. But if you look at our ewe flock, you will see, whether it's the Suffolks you're looking at or our Dorsets, you're going to see the ewe flock is pretty well peas in a pod. And so that's where the consistency comes from. All these ewes should produce fairly consistent lambs, but like I said earlier, so many things affect what creates a lamb that as young lambs, they're going to be all over the board. So consistency involves the choices you make as a sheep farmer in getting your flock to where you want it to be, and it's a personal choice. So when all these sheep have lambs and they're growing up and we're deciding on who we keep, we have the traits and we know exactly what we're looking for in our flock. But like I said, what other people are looking for may be totally different. So inevitably, every year there's going to be some taller ones, some smaller ones, and some medium ones. And we try to keep a selection back from all of them. For ourselves, we keep the type that we like, but we have to keep in mind that we're selling to other breeders and they are looking for different traits. So in order to appeal to the vast majority of breeders, we try to keep a little bit of everything, with the focus being on medium, because that is what we like. So most of our sheep will be in what we consider to be the medium height range. All our sheep are chosen for length and width and good conformation and breed standard. But rams, sometimes, yes, one of your humdinger ewes can get a little too tall, and you don't want her any taller. So we also purchase some smaller rams in, or we might hold back one of our smaller rams to use. He would usually be a more British style, and that again is to keep our flock in balance, so that our ewe flock always looks consistent or equivalent, like everybody's the same. And in order to get the same, you actually have to use a lot of different eggs. So yeah, that I hope that clarifies things a little bit. I mean, we try to keep a bit of everything, because, and also if you've watched my videos for quite a while now, you'll see all the people that come in and buy like flocks from us, and a lot of them have us choose the sheep for them. And when we're choosing a flock to send to somebody, we are not gonna send them an assortment of big ones, small ones, medium ones, whatever. We are going to make sure that their little flock that they buy from us is as consistent as is possible. That way they're starting off with that consistency, and they can take that where they want to go. They can increase the size, decrease the size, whatever they want. But it's nice to have that start. And same when people are sending lambs to market. It's what they're going to do, a lot of people run them through scales and weigh them. You really don't have to do that. All you have to do is send them through the chute and go by size. It's pretty bang on. If they look the same, they are probably really close, like within a couple of pounds of each other. So sending to market, you want to send all the sames together. So you're going to send your bigger ones first, your medium ones, and you're going to save the smaller ones till last. And then they'll grow up. But they will be in groups, and they're going to be in groups of consistent type sheep. So that's what I mean by consistency. I'm not saying that all the lambs are going to be born consistent, because pretty well impossible for that. But they can easily be grouped into consistent groups. And here's Peanut's little lambs. She's laying right over here, chewing her cud. But her two little ones are just snuggled together. That's why it's always nice when they're twins, because you always feel sorry for the little single one. But the twins always tend to snuggle together like that, or the triplets or whatever. And these are the two that were born this morning. To our rye-face girl. That's another weird thing we had today. And please don't say that I'm promoting rye-face sheep, because rye-face is definitely a fault. I don't know how she managed to get through, but now we don't have the heart to color. You silly girl. Well, that's it for me today. I'm going to call that a day. I have no idea where Arnie is. He's around here somewhere. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope we clarified a few points there. And I hope to see you again tomorrow for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.